Facts will stand up on their own, and you'll find at the end of the day that I am not a political analyst, as people say. I'm not a prophet. I'm just somebody who looks at things critically as they are and try to appreciate reality as it is. And where possible, I share my views with those who care to listen. So I'm not a hiring of somebody that is paid a few coins to distort the truth and reality and create image and impressions that do not exist. So when I say things, I say them as I believe and according to my own, the truth of my deepest conscience. And I relate to facts I've analyzed and seen them. I do not seek to please people because they are in power, and I do not look for favors from anybody. Neither am I aspiring to be given a position for anything that I've said here. I say what I believe and what I think is right as I read the situation, and my views are purely mine. You can have your own, and your views could be different. So when you have views that are different from mine, you don't have to fight me with such ferocity and make me an enemy. I don't want to be your enemy just because I hold an idea that is different from yours. We have so far survived together, and we must continue to do so. I think that is good. And then the things we do together that keeps us alive must not be destroyed just because I hold a different perspective about this temporal reality of now. Because this reality is going to shift, and we'll be back to who we are and back to the place where we exist. And we'll do those things that have kept us alive, and our survival will still be a struggle like before. So let us not build enmity because of political positions we hold now. And in any case, these are not political positions that are not going to help us. They're just views about what we see and what is happening in this country. And they are not likely to be taken by many because we don't have a wide audience as such. Just a limited number of people who listen to these things that we say, and the majority of them despise them anyway. So let us keep calm and listen to each other with sobriety and not create enmity unnecessarily because somebody holds an opinion that is divergent from yours. It is divergence of opinions that creates the society in which we live. And when we sum up these ideas and we think in such diverse ways, then we create heterogeneity that makes the whole that we are. So I think and I believe we should not want to destroy or kill each other because we think differently, but our thoughts should become the building stones upon which we lay the foundations for our growth. And our growth in every regard should be towards what is good and what is right for our country. So when I state my political sentiments, and I state it so strongly, sometimes I may use words that you don't like, that you think some people are sacred and they keep talking about them, and that some truths are supposed to be holy and should not be attacked. And I want to believe there is nothing like sacred truth anymore. Anything that does exist within the nature in which we live and that is open to human perception is prone to be interpreted in different ways by different people, and our perceptions of reality becomes our truth. Therefore, I will not sacrifice my truth and keep quiet because you have a different point of view. So you are entitled to your own truth just as I'm entitled to mine, but I'm trying to find a midway around which we can communicate and build a truth, a kind of truth that can propel our society forward. Not necessarily a kind of truth that makes you bigger than me, stronger than me, that makes you dominate me, or that makes me dominate you. Truth should be able to assist us to understand the nature and kind of reality in which we find ourselves. And often we never get the truth, the real picture of the truth. We just have our own perception of it. And it is dangerous for us to rely on the perception of our truth to ruin or to make it difficult for others to coexist with us. So it's important that we are open and open to all forms of truth, because who knows which truth will win or carry the day. But certainly our society has some values by which we have decided and chosen to live by, and we cannot decide to turn our backs to these values and ignore them and go around believing that we will be the same. Because cultural values is the foundation of any society. For us to be social beings, we are held together by the value system that keeps our society alive. Therefore, when we try to live and we try to do what we want to do, we always do it in the best way we can, based on the values of our society. Therefore, being a conformist of our social and cultural values, I believe there are things that we can call no-go zones. There are things that are immoral. There are things that are illegal. There are things that are sinful. Because our cultural system defines them as such. And for us to coexist, we must uphold those things as they are. And these are the points of view that I keep holding and insisting that we must respect. Let us first, as a starting point, appreciate our cultural perceptions, which are our cultural reality, the truth about our culture, the things we have cultivated together and which have made us who we are. Then we go on from there and spread the sheet towards whichever direction we want to. But after all the truth is told, and the truth here is a cultural reality, a creation of society, it does not mean there is a truth anywhere other than our perception of reality. And it can be as diverse as I've said as their cultures. So when our society points to something and says, do not do it, it is not correct, it is up to us to honor it and say it is not correct. When our laws say, do not do it, it is illegal, it is up to us to say, this one is not acceptable by the standards of our national or otherwise, any kind of laws or statutory regimes. So we must therefore carefully approach things from cultural and value perceptions that guide us and hold us to be who we are. The moment we begin to minimize, defy, and ignore them, we cease to be true to ourselves, and we cease to coexist as a society, and we have nothing in common other than trickery, lies, thievery, and all this manner of things that distorts and creates anomy in society. So if culture gives us something to expect, then we must respect culture and live by the values that are true in that regard. Therefore, when people just break the law and come here, every day they're changing the rules that we have set for ourselves so that they can favor them, we resist, because we do not want to be in a perpetual state of anomy. We do not want to be in a perpetual dysfunctional state. We would want a value system that takes us forward, not one that we rotate around and which changes, and the goalpost gets shifted the next minute and we don't know where we are. In that regard, when we are looking at our legal regimes, then we uphold them as such. We protect our constitutions, we protect our laws, the laws of our land, and we protect all bylaws that govern us, because we want to have a predictable, stable, and a society to whose values we can conform, values that are known to everybody, accepted and agreed upon. If you keep shifting these things, then you create some kind of anomy, and that expectations always will not match with reality, because there isn't a form of reality to which people could be conformed. So that's why we fight. And when values are confronted in such a way, we say, no, please. When you keep attacking our value system, we are bound to speak, and we speak in no uncertain terms. So often when I speak and try to uphold our common values in regard to certain phenomena, I do not wish to antagonize anybody or any sense of thinking or any people, I just say it is as it is, because I did not create these values. These values are a creation of our social interaction. And as we interact and as we continue to interact, we may adjust them, we may alter them, but in time, but for as long as they are the ruling system, they give us direction, they define for us our reality, they point us to us where we must go and how we must live, then I will stand as often as I'm required to protect these values, because without these values, then we do not have a society. Similarly, in politics, there are things we expect. We do not expect to wake up and do elections and vote and then you rig the elections and give us results that are different from what we have given ourselves. Similarly, we do not expect to choose a president and he comes back in the name of a prime minister or a minister or any such thing. So our governance, therefore, must be based on our shared values, and these values are paramount for us to protect. And when we speak about these things, we shouldn't take them personal. We are just protecting who we are, because it is who we are that makes this society to be what it is. And we don't want to lose that. Otherwise, we'll have nothing to ourselves and we'll be passing nothing to posterity. We'll have only a destruction that will not be useful for a human society.